Hi guys, this is Corey with Sellercore Free Auction Template Editor. Today I'm going to show you how to edit free eBay templates you find on Sellercore.com or anywhere else online. This is actually a follow-up video. Last video I showed you how to take a basic template we found on Sellercore and add a little to it. So we started with this template and we changed things around a little bit and ended up with this template. Not a huge difference, but we made it our own a little bit. So in this video I'm going to show you how to take this that we left off with and take it one step further to that. Once again, not a huge change, but when you go from this to that, definitely we added our own character to this. So to get started, we'll start what we had over yesterday. We'll start with the lettering. So in the new template, I changed the lettering to shadowing a little bit and went from like an all-around blur to more of a shadow effect. So I'm just going to double click on our text, edit CSS. On other, our text shadows right here, and I'm gonna go right one, down one, and blur. It's a header. We'll blur it too. Just blur it too, and that takes it right one, down one, and gives it two blur. So there we are. And as I showed you in my last video, I moved this, and since I edited it, I got to move it again. So we'll move span, move relative, very simple. Just drag it and put it wherever I want it. Right there is fine. So there we go. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to add pretty much the same thing. So I'll double click on it, edit CSS, and I'll go to my text. I'm going to make it a little larger, 25. I want to get rid of the other underline, so we'll do none. We'll go to other, text shadow. I actually want this to go right one, down one, blur one, and we'll make that red. And I'm going to add some letter spacing in here. Basically, if I'm just make it 1 pixel, you'll see that just puts a little bit of spacing between the letters. Stretch it out a little bit since it's sort of a header. Go there, and there it is. And since this is the same thing, very simply, I can double click on that, save that CSS style, click on the shipping, and up here save CSS. We have the one saved we just saved. There we go, very easy. I could obviously go in and edit it again, but that's a quick way. When the CSS is exactly the same, you can do it that way. So what's next? So I changed the outer shadow here. I basically put an inner shadow, an inset shadow on these and got rid of that outer shadow. So we'll do that. So if I click on this and go back to my layer, I want to get the whole thing. We can just edit the div since I want to get rid of something. Go to our box shadow, drop it off. There it goes, it's gone. So I actually want to put an inset shadow on all three, our header, our body, and our footer here. So I'm going to double click on a header, edit CSS style. I'm going to go to our box shadow. This has currently a little bit of a lower shadow here that we put on last time. I'm going to change that. So I'm going to make this 0, 0. We're going to blur it 8 and spread it out 4. Now you'll see this is on the outside. If I click this little box here, this is my inset box, inset outset. If I click that, you'll see that shadow jumps from the outer border to the inner border. It goes in instead of out. So if I turn it off, you see it back out, back in. Now of course I can make this go one direction or the other. You'll see that that's real strong on this side and none on that side. But I want it to be all the way around, so I'll leave it at 0. So we have it up there, and I'll do the same thing for our body. Edit CSS style, just turn this one on. Do 0, 0, 8, and 3. We'll leave that a little bit less since it's text in there. Inset, okay. And then the bottom one the same. Other, this one was turned on from our last template. 0, 0, 8, 4, and inset. There we go. Alright. Next, I'm going to add the outer frame. So to do this, it's a slightly advanced step here. When I click select all, you'll see that it's just selecting the stuff on the inside. And that's because I actually did not leave a space before I started this template. You see I can't click up in there anywhere. So I could go into my spacing and I can, insert a top line or insert a bottom line. or I could just go into my HTML and just easy space 1, go to top, go to bottom, space 1. So now when I hit select all, you see that it gets everything. This is a little off because I moved it, but so when we go to insert div, what that does is that puts a div on the outside. I can click, now you can see my box, there's a div there, there's no CSS in it, so it's pretty much invisible, but you can see now that I could type up there if I wanted because we added that space. So what I want to do now is create a frame around this. So we'll see our frame here. Now if you click this, you'll see down here, the one that hits the whole thing, this is set to a max width of 900 pixels and a width of 100%. What that does is it's kind of a CSS hack where it tries to stretch 100% of the screen, but the max width it'll allow it to go to is 900 pixels. So if I were to take this way down below 900 pixels, it stretches itself out. Now that it's below 900 pixels, it stretches to 100%. So that's all that is. It's a CSS hack I put in to help you guys, their templates look better on eBay. So we're kind of follow the same suit here. You can set it as a static 1000 or whatever you want it to be, but we're going to stick with that. So we're going to go to our outer template. I'm going to double click on it, edit CSS style. Now we're going to go to our size. This is where I set 100% again, 100%, and a max width of, the last one was 900, so we'll do a little bit larger. We'll do 1000. And we'll go to spacing. We want it centered. Go to border. Going to put a red border on it because it matches our text. I'm going to round it. In the last video we used 15, so we'll stick with that. And I will do a background color. And obviously I don't want yellow. We'll do something dark like black. Maybe make it not quite that dark. The next color over. And we'll turn our text shadow on. Hit OK. There it is. Pretty simple. Now, of course, if I were to go back into that, edit CSS, spacing, put a margin on the outside if I don't want it to touch the edges. There we go. So there it is, guys. We recreated this template. You know, and same thing with this template. If I were to add extra text in here, it'll stretch itself out. You know, so you can feel free to type in here all you want, and it'll stretch itself up and down for you. So that's a big jump from what we started with. So this is Corey with Sellercore.com, the free auction template editor. Please leave any questions or comments below. I'm always happy to help. Thank you.